heard it came in second.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Ister. Savage.
Here.
Brochus.
Here.
Barnhart.
Here.
Martinez. Here.
I have two additions to the agenda. One is a waiver for 901 South 2nd, and the other is an add to notice to proceed with 2025 paving to the signing of the contract. Do I have a second to add?
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martinez. Yes.
Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Any public comment on agenda items at this time? Okay, moving on. So I make the motion to approve the minutes and reports. Minutes from March 10th and 24th meetings. The reports from the Fire Department, Police Department, Treasurer, Controller, Code Office, Health Department, Parks and Rec, and Planning Commission. Do I have a second?
Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martinez. Yes. Ister.
And there was an executive session held prior to tonight's council meeting concerning personnel. We do have an Earth Day proclamation, which reads, whereas Earth is our home, providing essential resources such as clean air, water, and fertile land to sustain life, whereas the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania states that Pennsylvania's public natural resources are common property to all people, including generations yet to come. As trustees of these resources, the Commonwealth shall conserve and maintain them for the benefit of all people. Whereas the town of Sunbury has responsibility to protect and preserve natural environment for the well-being of current and future generations. Whereas all members of our community, residents, businesses, and organizations play a vital role in maintaining a healthy and sustainable environment. Earth Day serves as a day to both celebrate and summons a moment of renewal of our commitment to conservation, restoration, sustainable steward, and to build a preparation for the extreme weather events in the future. Whereas the resilience of our community depends upon our shared dedication to clean air, fresh water, soil, and to promise a greener and healthier tomorrow. Whereas the Susquehanna River is the lifeblood of our town's history as a source of ecological, cultural, and spiritual, and deserving to protect the future and to commit towards a continued restoration. Whereas Kython's Bluebird Gardens, a local haven for biodiversity and natural beauty, stands as a testament of the beauty of preservation and the joy of communal with natural world. Whereas small acts, when multiplied across hearts and hands, can shape the future into imagine of our hopes. Now, therefore, I, Josh Brochus, the mayor of the city of Sunbury, do proclaim April 22nd as Earth Day in Sunbury, and urge all residents to honor this day with acts of kindness and generosity towards our planet by planting, tending, conserving, protecting for generations yet to come. Old business, there is no old business, but there is new business. Starting off with our additions of the waiver for 901 South 2nd Street.
All right, so the planning commission reviewed the sketch plan, last two meetings. For 901 South 2nd, formerly Taco Queen. And the site currently has 3 points of kind of ingress egress. There's one right by the ramp to Front Street, one kind of in the middle of the property, and then kind of a free access off of South River Avenue. The three waivers, we'll start with the easiest. The first one requested, which is from section 148.21.a. That requires a setback where in an area where all the buildings to the north and the south are pretty much on the setback line, on the property line. And the planning commission felt that it kind of fit into the community as it was now, so waiving that made sense to them. Sidewalk would still be preserved, walkability would still be preserved. So our office doesn't have an issue with the granting of that waiver. So again, that was 148.21.a. The next waiver is regarding South River Avenue. Currently it's a free access. Normally accesses are restricted to a maximum width of 35 feet. They're gonna have a defined 30-foot access. They're gonna reduce the kind of free access by adding some green space here to kind of channelize it. But they're requesting to have line striping here for delineation to allow the access of trucks and trailers to kind of drag through there safely. Again, we didn't have an issue with that, unanimous support from the planning commission for that waiver. Which brings us to that waiver was 148-18.a. The final waiver, which is section 148.18.c.1, is to reduce the required distance from an adjacent right-of-way line for a driveway from 40 feet to only 10 feet. That was recommended for approval, conditioned upon it being reviewed by Steve Welker. I met with him on site today. He does not have an issue with it being that close with the condition that it is ingress only, so an entrance only. He felt that the proximity to the ramp here was too close for that to be an egress. We felt that with these kind of exits here, if they kind of reverse the flow, that it would be okay. And our office is in agreement with that. So it would be a conditioned waiver to allow it to be between 10 feet rather than 40, but with the condition that it's marked entrance only. So those are the three waivers. There's no plan before you. It's really just those three waivers so that he can decide whether or not he wants to move forward with the property. Any questions on any of those? Sure. So our recommendation of the planning commission, the recommendation is to grant the two waivers as presented, and then the third one with that condition of the entrance only. Jason,
Yeah, I don't know if I get a comment or not.
yeah, no, if you, I didn't,
Yeah, come on up. I'll just talk loud. The condition on that last one, that it's only egress, was not discussed at the planning portion of it, that was an unrestricted in and out, and that's the variance we were asking for, not that it was one way.
correct. So the way that it was granted was it was conditioned upon input from the road foreman.
Right. Who I also spoke with, and have a letter that said, you're good.
Okay, I just spoke with him today. You guys could table that waiver and wait until we're discussing them. He said he's gonna be here, but he's not.
The importance of that driveway is, in placement of that building, is to have a drive-through, so you come in one bay and out the other. Restricting that to an entrance only really upsets that use of that garage building and that entrance. So it's kind of that's kind of a deal breaker. This driveway is the number one go or don't go decision on this property and this site development plan. So it's, I thought we were in agreement. Like I said, I had spoken with him.
You have a letter from Welker saying that the plan this plan as presented is okay?
Well, you can read it.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
It doesn't reference the plan. It says there's no reason you can't use that driveway in layman's terms.
Yeah, and then this afternoon when he was on site with me, then he would have had to change the part.
I'm sending him a message, actually. See if he
Okay.
answers me.
Okay, yeah, maybe he won't.
Because we even, and Livick provided the turning radius drawings and everything else, that a vehicle leaving that driveway doesn't have to go across a lane or anything else.
It does show it crossing part of the double yellow there, and that is with a very specific combination of vehicles, which, according to testimony of the planning commission, was the vehicle, the largest vehicles that you would have on site.
Yeah, we're not talking tractor trailers, we're talking pickup trucks with utility trailers.
There's no way to cheat this south or north of it. We had built it.
We've banged our heads against all the walls on where to get that.
So I would wait to see what Steve says, because this is not clear, it just says the existing entrance. It does not say which of the three.
We didn't talk about any of the other entrances.
I know when I talked to Steve today, he had mentioned about giving the entrance, and at that point, you, Joan, were talking in and out. Am I right?
Yeah, both, yeah, there was no, we proposed it as, no restriction, but, and it's an existing driveway, there's a curb cut that's existed there for
Yeah.
So,
And the planning commission was okay with it pending Steve's input, which as of this afternoon at 3 o'clock, after looking at it, he was very concerned about that should be an exit only. So that's the input that is reported.
So I understand. He's saying it's an exit only, you're saying you have to be able to exit.
Sorry, entrance only.
Yeah, you said egress earlier, so I thought you meant it was
I
an
meant
exit.
ingress.
You meant
I apologize,
ingress.
I misspoke.
Okay.
He wants it to be
Both
in,
ways.
and then go
In and
out the two other
Okay.
exits.
I just want to make sure we weren't splitting hairs that didn't need to be.
because and the reason behind that is to be able to use, there's a bay on each side, to be able to pull a truck and trailer in here, and pull a truck or trailer in here, you know, when they come home at night. Otherwise, you're gonna have to totally remove back a trailer out of a garage to let,
And
you
only
know,
one
just,
out.
I was under the impression he granted.
Both ways? What time did you talk to him? It's okay, it's just, it was 3 o'clock till I met with him today, and he was pretty clear.
What's the word, Lisa?
Three, because I didn't know about three.
He said there was a two-part issue. He approved both with one agreed upon stipulation that the new southern driveway be used only as an entrance.
That's okay. I deferred to him as he is using the right way.
You don't
And
have
that's
to
the
follow
one.
what Wilker says, they can do whatever they want.
He wants it both ways.
He would like it both ways, or at least.
that's a deal breaker.
Okay.
Whether Steve agreed to.
Steve saying,
They're showing exit. Joel, watch your head on TV.
Yeah.
Sounds like some kind of truck. Idiot.
And it's, you know, it's gonna be limited access anyway, I got, you know,
More than 1,000 trailers out there today.
right, it's not like it's a distribution center, this is trucks leave in the morning, come home again in the day.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm gonna let Jason.
You can.
They
Go ahead.
They can.
Yeah.
You are the elected, this is the elected.
So planning commission themselves makes the recommendation to you guys, but you have the final approval to either adhere to their recommendation or decide to do something different. So that they're just recommending, so council has the final say on that.
And their
He
recommendation.
chooses to make it the way it needs to be.
So I say, correct, I say we make it the way he needs to be at both
So you would
entrance and entrance.
propose to grant the waiver as requested.
Correct, yes. Does anyone have an issue with that?
I have a question. So at the turn here, what are you doing here? Like, is it all gonna be repaved and smoothed out, or how's it gonna look?
This is gonna be paved. This sidewalk down here, this was a discussion early on, that the sidewalk on the southern portion of this property barely exists. So originally, we had proposed to even remove some sidewalk and stuff down there, but as kind of a, let's make it look nice, let's make everybody happy, we've agreed to fix and repair a sidewalk the length of the property, and then there would be a regular, you know, concrete, you know, a slope drop curb, repair here at this end. So this would be probably gravel to start, but paved as an entrance exit. And the sidewalk will continue.
So we had requested turn movement, that's what you see here. There is a double set of double yellow as depicted. They do not cross in oncoming traffic.
Yeah, so this is like a median almost. You know, there's a full lane here, then there's a big median here, and another lane here. So with the truck and trailer, you know, you're gonna probably cross this line as depicted in there. You know, these engineers are good enough
Cross
to
will
go.
come out with a truck and trailer, so.
It'd be no different than pulling out of
All right.
South River Avenue
You guys have an
with the
issue
truck and
with
trailer.
training?
You're a little closer to it.
Lisa, do you have an issue with reading
I
on?
don't.
No, I understand.
But on the other hand, why does Marks keep doing that?
I'm grateful for the update. I'm not.
You
Everybody else is going to go over it.
The truck driver.
You don't have to convince me.
Okay, Jim.
So we're looking, you can either take them all three separately,
Yeah.
or you can take them all
You
together.
take them all together and make a
They go
motion.
as far as
and
to
then
say
it'll be a
that.
second, and then-
Okay, so I will make the motion to
ran in
grant all three
2017, but
waivers
now he looks
that
like
are as presented and requested. Do I have a second? No,
Thank you.
Don't thank us yet.
Well, I mean, thank you, I'm going to sit down.
Savage,
Yes.
Barnhart,
Yes.
Martina.
My business, Better Geoservices. So it'll be
Um,
Tuck and Queen Building, it'll
Well,
be
no,
office.
because I think it's a great idea, I like the opportunity, but I also have.
Take your guns, Lisa.
I'm just gonna go with, no, so I'm not gonna go against it.
We were just wondering.
Ister.
Yeah, I can take that.
So, motion carried. All right, moving on. Oh, Mike, do you need anything from us at this point in time?
You can, yeah, if you want to mention it too, because I know you had more in-depth conversations than I did, because you were at the first meeting that I was at.
So the planning commission had discussed the last two meetings, and then more formally so to make a recommendation to you all, just to have some of the review. And the first one we did, we would start with would be chapter 143 and 148, which is stormwater management and subdivision development ordinance. They're pretty outdated and need to overhaul. The way that they kind of wanted to go about doing it, which is the way I've done it in other municipalities, is, in this case, it would be Joel, Derek, and I would meet, we would budget for about an hour a month, but we might meet once 24 hours, and that would be enough for maybe 3 months. And then before each planning commission meeting, we would either, I think the way it was discussed, we would just meet an extra hour with the planning commission to go over all the material we've done until we're out, then we meet again to stay ahead of them. That way we're going through all of it at the same time, also looking for consistency. Because, for example, if Steve wants something in the streets, he wants something, related to where the utilities lie. And then you have something like, the tree ordinance that says you need to put a tree between the sidewalk and here where the utilities. So looking to avoid any conflicts like that, same thing with stormwater case, and bringing stuff up to stuff with the latest municipal plan code requirements and things like that. So their recommendation was that, but because you'd be spending funds on Joel, Derek, and I to do that meeting outside of the planning commission. And the intent would be to go through all of the chapters eventually, but kind of starting off with.
These are the ones you're focused on right now.
Right, and, with the Celotex site up in the air, or not in the air, but available for development, I think it would be nice to be proactive and kind of have stuff for how Steve wants streets laid out, how things should be laid out, and of course, kind of modern good practice, so that when we get something from there, or any redevelopment for that matter, we have something that makes sense. So Derek, Bill, and I would kind of run through it first, with Steve as needed, and municipal authority, present to the planning commission, go through it line by line, and then bring it all to you.
Could you also include fire department as well?
No.
Grease traps.
Grease trap, as far as from the municipal authority regarding that stuff.
Yeah, we actually talked about like those types of issues.
We have a big issue.
Yes, we talked about stormwater, we talked about a whole bunch of different things that, I know Mike deals with a lot of variances and everything, that the reason some of these variances come up is because we have contradicting ordinances, they're outdated, whatever it may be, and I know he's works with other municipalities, that he finds issues on ordinances that we work on that, we didn't necessarily think of, that he brought up, that we need to even alter ones that we're already working on. So it's things like that, that we really need to get a good grasp on.
It'd be great if it was fast track the grease trap situation, only because of the construction that's going on up there.
So I guess that would be.
So if you could talk to the municipal authorities engineer and solicitor, apply first there.
And a lot of that, because we're kind of starting with subdivision land development ordinance, a lot of the pieces spin off of that. So one of those requirements for final plan approval is coordination with the municipal authority, including A3C, so we can make sure we do our best to put that in there. And these documents really are living documents, and they're going planning commission was recommending you guys give us the leeway to do that, so that was what we're looking for.
We need a motion to approve Derek, Mike, and myself meeting to basically.
I would add Jackie to that too.
And
Oh, sorry,
Yes,
and
I would add,
Jackie.
I would add Jackie to that.
To revise the existing ordinance, what, 143, 148?
I'd like to start with, 143 and 148, and then bring those two together.
It's
And the Grand Prix strap, and make sure that we are covering
no.
sewer requirements.
I know you can work with the authority.
No.
Add it on to the
Stormwater.
Okay.
So that's, 143, 141, subdivision layout, and one stormwater, so we'd be getting both of those, and bringing this authority, on those as well.
So I will put that into a form of a motion with George's suggestion.
And I'll second that.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Anytime. All right, moving on, home program grant extension, Mr. Backer.
So we need an extension for our grant contract, till the end of June, or, that came from CEDACOG, they just need to sign and agree upon, so.
Great. I'll make a motion for the extension. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister.
All right, moving on, signing of the 2025 paving contract and the notice to proceed with it. Mr. Backer.
I'm gonna pass that over.
I'm just gonna make a motion to sign the 2025 paving contract for right-way sealing and paving, and you didn't know, you said the notice.
Yep, correct. Second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. Go on, Mr. Backer.
We have Selson. We have a change order for the electric, for Selson to do, mount new panels, down in the basement as far as creating an IT or brain, if you will, to house all of our, electric or utilities as far as, IT goes. And I don't know if Councilman Ister, if you would like to elaborate or talk about it a
So
little
we're
bit
just
more.
taking electrical and also the communication systems down in one location for the future.
Questions, anyone? All right, I'll make that a motion. Do I have a second?
Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
All right, keep going, Mr. Backer.
I have two change orders for HEPCO. One is to have paint and glass for the vestibules for where the citizens will come in. And then the other one is for creating a new partition in the code office to create a new office across from where the vault is. Thank you.
Questions, anyone? All right, I'll make that a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Moving on, Councilman Barnhart ordinance.
I can make a motion to amend the property maintenance ordinance 131-1 of standards for the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition.
Second.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Move on, keep moving on, Councilman Barnhart.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-013 outside seating. It's going to be allowed to keep the seating with, they still have to maintain the 5-foot roof there.
Second.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Police obsolete ammunition, chief, like to just talk about it real brief so everyone knows what we're getting rid of.
Yeah, basically, we're doing the upgrade with the rifle and the shotgun. We're getting rid of the shotgun and replacing it with left lethal, which would be beanbag rounds, walls, and things like that. But the ammunition that we have left, there's a total of $789.30. If we would sell what we have left, we'd sell that to law enforcement. So asking to be able to do that.
And What would you like the money to go back into then, so?
That money then would go back into our ammunition.
Questions, anyone?
Second.
I'll make the motion for ammunition sale. Mr. Councilman Nicer has seconded.
John,
Savage.
make sure you put it back into.
And, with the motion to also put it back into the ammunition fund. Line item.
Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister.
Chief, keep going there about the grants information.
There's several grants that are open. Spoke with Lexipol, which is our individuals who manage our policies and regulations. They sent me out this information on the cops hiring grant. This program provides $125,000 per officer over a 3-year period to hire or rehire full-time law enforcement officers. The cops safe outcomes, the de-escalation and crisis response training funds up to $350,000 with no match required. And then the COPS SVPP, School Violence Prevention Program, provides up to $500,000. What I'd like to do is to look at the school. I spoke with Sean Williams a little bit about that. Is that School Violence Prevention Program is something we have to work with the school. And my idea in brainstorming here, thinking outside the box, is what I'd like to do is to see if we can get cameras at school bus stops. And that would not only basically help in 2 different ways, would help the city with being able to have that, cameras in those areas, but also combat the school buses with the people coming through their stop signs and things like that. So it's something that we have to work with the school on. But the other 2, the cops hiring program and cops safer outcomes, is something we could do on our own. The other one would be the Norfolk Southern, $50,000 for traffic stops. I was working with Cheryl on this one here. Basically what it is Norfolk Southern gives out grants for traffic stops, conducting traffic stops within 1.5 miles of each railroad crossing. So it would be a way to help our funding with either part-time, full-time, but overtime basically up to $50,000. That'd be a grant that we would look to.
Does the cops hiring program, the 125 per officer, is that for assistant police officers or only new?
Yes, new. And that's to rehire any full-time law enforcement officers that have retired, that would want to come back. I don't know if there's any.
Charles, is that like the other one where it's they pay their 3 and we have to pay the 4th?
Yes.
Okay.
Same identical, but it's a 3-year period. And what I'm doing is kind of looking down the road, if we would have anybody that would be going, that we would secure these funds for that, or even push the police department to where we're at right now.
When you say you're going to be retired, you bring them on board to take the place of the retiree.
Right, you can basically get them up on board. So look, if somebody's going to retire in the near future, that you have at least somebody in place already. Just thinking strategically.
Thank you.
Council also has to look at what it says the police complement should be, because otherwise they say you're supplanting. Like if it says we have to have 15, then the city would have to pay up to 15 before you could hire the 16.
So what she's saying with that is we have to change the ordinance.
Change the number of
Yeah,
the
change the
ordinance.
ordinance. Because right now it's at 15 full-time officers. We'd have to look to revisit that prior to looking into going for the grant.
That's what knocked us out a couple times, is they checked our ordinance.
And they're outdated, so we gotta update that. We set it for now.
If you could please, if you want.
Yeah, the money. If you wanna be
Yeah,
able to
if
apply
you
for
want
the
to go
grant.
after the grant, you don't want to get knocked out for
Technicality
just
like
reading
that.
it.
Don't they look at the sustainability also if we have to pay for additional time?
Right, you have to keep them on
Well, yeah, we have to pay for that final year.
that one
So then there's a
for
sustainability
another
issue.
year, correct.
And if we don't have that sustainability, they're not the ones that can be let go, it would have to be somebody else, correct?
Right.
Any other questions for the chief on these grants?
So I went on the cops grant. I know that you said that the individual from Mexico said that they're open. I went on the cops and I didn't see them open yet.
Yeah, Lexipol basically is, they're far in front of these things here. So between April and June of 2025 is when we're going to open. But I'd rather be ahead of the game, get talking, let's get the ball rolling with some of these other grants. Is also Lexipol will actually talk with you and walk you through from beginning to end as well.
I had sent an email to Anita at Lexipol, and she said it's gonna open any day now. They hadn't had a firm date.
In the Norfolk Southern grant, what was that under? Was that under, oh gosh, community safety or emergency, or the thriving community, the community safety? That grant I saw said had a cap at 15,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of money for Norfolk Southern. Yeah, I know Norfolk, I know there's a bunch of grants that I've been looking and researching. Walmart has one, right now that I'm looking at, I'll bring it for next meeting, just because we're within the area. Target also has one, you know, any little bit helps, it's $2,000 to $5,000 grants.
Because I went to the Norfolk Southern website for grant programs, and they said safety first grant, that was the one that was maxed at $15,000. And the thriving community grant, thriving community grant, that was up to 50. But when I went in to look at what was provided as far as awarded, the safety grant was obviously first responder related, but the thriving community was more of a, I think they help people with housing crisis, they help people with food pantries and stuff like that. So it wasn't that, either of those grants though that you found?
No.
That was something different?
Well, regardless, but we can get that information over to Derek to help them apply. Does anyone have any issues with getting ahead of the ball, getting ahead of the game, looking for these, and when they're opened up, whether in between meetings that we get applications in? All right, so I'll make the motion to apply for the grants listed below: the hiring program, the safe route comes, the SBPP for school violence, and the Norfolk Southern. Do I have a second?
Second.
Tina? Yes. Ister? Savage?
Yes.
Brochus?
Yes.
Barnhart?
Yes.
Councilman Ister?
We have a contract here from CSG Baker to buy some items off them through the year for the snack bar. I would like to make a motion after Bill reviews it, Mr. Mayor will sign it. Any questions?
No,
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Barnhart?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Ister?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Brochus?
Yes, keep going, Councilman Ister.
Looking to hire Brooke Thomas, part-time, 32 hours at the $17 an hour, effective May 3rd, which
Second.
will be the starting date. Any questions?
I'll second.
Barnhart?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Ister?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Brochus?
Yes.
And then we have John Wall working for us as 90-day. The rate is up, I'd like to raise him up to $16 an hour. 20 hours.
Second. Wow.
Barnhart?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Ister?
Yes.
Savage?
Yes.
Brochus?
Yes. Councilwoman Martina, road closure.
I just want a motion to accept road closures for 5/3/23, the SRI annual week in Brew. We have the Sunbury celebration and 7/12/25, Sunbury Fire and Police Halloween Parade on the 16th, October 16th, I'm sorry. That's all the three I have right now.
Second.
Please also be some road closures for the 800, it's Saturday, April 19th.
I don't.
Are they on our streets or PennDOT streets?
No, they're our streets.
Okay.
Yeah, then we don't need road
We don't,
closure.
these are just PennDOTs.
Did run those streets.
Lisa?
Should have actually run the parking.
Lisa Fleeger.
She's working with Welker on that, which is being held down at the stadium. This year, it's moved down there, they're gonna run out towards the Silk Mill, back around, and so forth.
Barnhart,
Yes.
Martina,
Yes.
Ister, Savage,
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. And Councilman Savage.
I'll make a motion for the approval of abstracts and vouchers for the general fund in the amount of $102,202.87. Liquid fuels in the amount of $6,835.10. Private grants in the amount of $3,044, and payroll in the amount of $71,476.17.
Second.
Barnhart,
Yes.
Martina,
Yes.
Ister, Savage,
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. All right, moving on to discussion topics, climate action plan. In the work session prior, we did speak about moving forward with the climate action plan going through Penn State University. I didn't know if anybody else wanted to add anything to it, but as of right now, we just had to have it on discussion so we can have it for a vote at next meeting. Questions, anyone on that?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a packet or something, what this entails?
There was some details in there. I think
I've
it's,
seen some of it, but.
yeah, but that's just the general consisted of it. We can get information because I believe Shamokin is in the process of their last phase. Selinsgrove is starting theirs, and, right, is that right?
They're in their last phase.
Oh, okay, they're in their last, was
Yeah.
it Northumberland that is talking also? Am I making that one up?
Yeah, Northumberland was talking about something else,
Okay.
but yeah.
Lewisburg
Lewisburg is completed there.
Is it possible you guys get us like what a final product could look like from Lewisburg or some other community that has done theirs?
Oh, we can give you a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, would you do those? So I'd say we have a
Yeah.
kind of idea what it'll look like then.
Right.
All right, awesome. Then moving on, also the next one, the Innotech, they met here obviously previously in the work session to discuss, moving forward with the switching over from Infradat to Innotech. And they gave Joel a copy of the contract to review and hopefully to vote upon that at the next council meeting. Are there any questions on that for anyone? All right, and then moving on to the last one here, the lattice bus system. Last week that started. They had many different routes in the city. There is not a set yet determined route after they played out to see which stops are more popular than others, then they'll have a final bus route. But for council, in your folders there's a couple of requests that the bus drivers had about making it more accessible for some of their stops. So the first one is at 4th and Market by the old bank. They're just asking that one of the parking stalls be taken away so there's more room for the bus to pull up alongside the bank and just moving the handicap spot up. So I didn't know if anyone wanted to have any issues about taking that one spot away to make it a better pull off for the bus. Does anyone have any issues with that one? Yeah, just like move the handicap spot up one and just make that yellow curb extend more so the bus is more off the turn of Market Street basically. Any issues with that one? Okay. The other one was by Scott Towers coming up South 2nd. There's no really parking spots. They're just extending the yellow line a little bit longer back so their nose isn't sticking out onto Market Street there. Does anybody have any issues with that one there? All right. And then the last one was on Chestnut Street across from the Social Security office there on Chestnut Street, just taking away one of the spots so it can move up so its back end is not close to the railroad tracks, just in case there would be a train there. That'd be the final one there.
Is that gonna cause issues with anybody on Chestnut for the limited parking that's there anyway?
I mean, right by that one property, they do have off-street parking in the rear, and that's more towards, away from any houses on that one, so it could cause an issue, it could not, but like I said, that house particularly near this park spot has off-street parking, so that was it. Any questions on the lattice bus stops?
If I can just make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think we should take a minute and just appreciate like the new route, because also at the county level, the county commissioners have invested in the stop hopper program. So if you look at the raw data for this, it's a lot of people that are going to work, which is great. So people that are going to work, they're going to grocery shop, they're going to honestly some friends' houses in neighboring communities. Doctor's appointments is a big one. It's huge for veterans, so not only with the Lions bus stops, but also with the Stop Hopper program, it's a huge step forward for public transport, which is pretty rare in an area like ours. So I just want to recognize something positive today.
Do we have to do anything like crosswalk-wise here? Because of us?
Because I'm assuming a lot of them are going to the building across
I
the
mean,
street.
what we will, I just, do we have to?
I don't know what the law states.
I was just curious
don't
if
know.
we knew what
I mean, I guess that'd be a Steve question to see if, I mean, because there are, we'll call them, curb cuts are,
Yes.
so I don't, I mean, there's nothing there now,
Correct.
which I don't know if you have, I'm not sure of the
I
law,
only
so
know, I
maybe.
was just curious if
I don't
you
think
guys.
we have to, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right now, with the way the curb cuts are, they're not going across Chestnut, they're going parallel with it. So, and I'm assuming the stop is there because of the building that's across the street. So a lot of people are gonna be running across it and not have a good way, especially ADA. They're
Yeah.
gonna be going in the driveway, I'm assuming at that point.
But Steve will know, because we
Yeah.
drive kids, state road to do that, 61 state road.
It's a trucking route.
Yeah. Well, we have Steve look into that.
But we don't have a crossing because our parking lot is on that side.
Right.
We don't have a crossing there now, so
Yeah.
it's a moot point. These people will have to go in
By my
and
house.
bus stop, leave it off, walk across and everybody else.
Yeah.
Motorized wheelchairs going across.
All right, moving on, any other discussion? All right, moving on to announcements. Camper Park / Front Street cleanup will take place from the Shikellamy ROTC and the city staff on April 23rd at 8 a.m. E-cycling event for electronics is April 26th from 10 to 12 at the Rink parking lot. There is no charge, but they will be collecting donations that go towards the Alex Angels Foundation. Kids Health Fair, the Sunbury Police Department, the Fire Department, and the U.S. Army of the YMCA on April 26th from 10 to 12. Next council meeting will be April 28th at 6:15. Free Mulch Giveaway on May 3rd, the Celotex lot from 7 a.m. to 12 or until supplies are exhausted. The Squeeze-In is having its 80th anniversary on May 3rd from 2:30 to 8 p.m. Chinese auction for Upper Augusta Fire Company at the Sunbury Ice Rink on May 3rd from 9 to 2. SRI first annual Beef and Brew Block Party at Cameron Park on April 3rd from 11 to 9. Oh, May 3rd, excuse me, May 3rd. Fire Police Chinese Auction, Sunbury Eagles, 33 South 3rd, May 10th from 11 to 4. Ink in the Rink 2, City Ice Game Rink on May 16th through the 18th. Any other announcements?
Steve did say brush will be closed this weekend due to the holiday.
Brush will be closed this Saturday due to the holiday.
Also, April 19th, the Easter hunt from 9 to 12 at the Eagles Place.
That also.
The Police Department. Also, I'd like to make the announcement that was released today, the first 150 names for MNSD, basically for the warrants through Magistrate Police Center. Office has been announced. There's 150 names put out there for that. There's an additional 400 coming tomorrow. So at that point then, they'll be given until the 23rd of April, at which point then, between April 24th and June 1st, the warrant rounds up.
All right.
Will that be in the paper, the list?
The list will be in Scaper, tomorrow paper for the next day. It is on the Sunbury Police Department's, the first 150 names have been announced on the Facebook page. The other 400 will be announced tomorrow before 1 p.m.
That's right. Any other announcements?
Prize
for us?
winners.
I
Check, see if I'm
know,
on
the
there.
Earth Day, is that, when's that, ladies? So go ahead.
The Earth Day celebration is in Cameron Park this Saturday from 10 to 2. Right now, we have 18 groups that'll be there. Tablers. Yeah.
First 50 attendants get free seat packets courtesy of Kohl's.
Polls and coupons for lunch at area restaurants right in this area. So there's something for everybody there.
All right, awesome. All right. Now, is there any public comment at this time? I'm gonna start in front, work my way back. Go ahead, sir. I saw your hand. I'll work your way back there. Please state your name, sir.
Right, it's Richard Wright. Josh, I have a question for you and Mr. Barnhart.
Yes, sir.
About 5-6 months ago, I took you around the neighborhood. You remember?
Is that, you down on by the high school, is that right?
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And then I took Mr. Barnhart. Remember that? I took you around too.
I think that was more like last summer.
Why are these properties being ignored?
Well, I wouldn't say they're being ignored, but the
Yes,
process.
they are being ignored.
I have to disagree, but the reason why, like, there's a process that we need to follow, and like, we have to follow the law on some things, and many times,
John,
yes, sir.
I've been complaining about this one property for 20 years now.
Well, I haven't been around for 20
Nothing has been
years.
done. It doesn't go on the list down there, the nuisance list. It was on, and they took it off. I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, I don't know what property you're referring to on that one, but like I said,
1021 Penn. Write these down. 716 Walnut. 26010.
Hold on, slow down, please. Sorry, 1021 Penn, what was the other one after that?
716
And 246 Langer. There's so much junk on 246 Langer, a fireman would have to move the stuff to get in the front door. And it's been like that. It's not right for the rest of the people to keep their properties up.
I agree.
But someone's not doing their job.
Well, John, you have those written down?
Yep.
Cheryl, did you get those written down also?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're welcome, sir. Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am, or your way back. No, you don't have to stand, just say your name.
Madison, I was just wondering, what's going in where topic 3 was?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. So that was just, so what was tonight was to approve if the business or company or individual would want to proceed with what he needs to do, he knows he can do what he needs to do. But as of right now, it's just nothing, he hasn't committed that what he's doing, he just want to know what he wanted to do, he could do it with approval of the council. That's all this was here tonight. So we don't know technically what's going in there quite yet.
Would it be something fun?
I don't know, I can't speak for the person who was doing it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, thank you. Public comment, please state your name, sir.
Rick Shimmer, I just want to give a real quick update on fire department consolidation. Next Monday, we'll be meeting, all 6 fire companies have agreed to move ahead. So hopefully we will be progressing with that. The original issue of the rescue hose company being merged with Sunbury Fire Department, on March 23rd, they rescinded their offer by text message. So that will no longer be happening, just so council's aware of that. Everyone's aware of that. Anybody have any questions?
That's a property that the city appropriated $50,000 for.
You want, yeah. So we will, depending on what you want to do that. We'll gladly take for consolidation for the whole department.
That's something we have to discuss.
But yeah, we'll have to discuss that. But yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Melissa Rouse, Dagestine Community Library, and I am here to cordially invite you to our Story Walk ribbon cutting ceremony. I sent out an email to all of you. It is Wednesday, May 14th at 4 p.m. at Fort Discovery, but I know that things happen and emails get blocked, so I'm here to invite you personally. A story walk is where you actually place a book and panels, and then a child then walks with the family or caregiver from one panel to the other, and they get to read a story while they're doing physical activity at the same time. Our first one was going to be at Fort Discovery. So North 4th Street at Fort Discovery, that's our first one. And we're hoping if this goes well, we'll be able to put one also in at the Riverfront Park. So hope to see you Wednesday, May 14th at 4 p.m.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment? I adjourn this meeting.